So far in our new behind the scenes series, we've seen the inner workings of a ballet, a florist, and Fiserv Forum.
And this week, CBS 58's Scott Grodsky is here to show us the inner workings of college basketball. Scott.
Well, college basketball is a billion-dollar industry that takes over the country in March. Millions of fans watch some of the best student athletes in the world go head-to-head for 40 minutes. But those 40 minutes are just the finished product. The Milwaukee Panthers and coach Bart Lundy let me take a look behind the scenes for a recent game.
Misery. Yeah. It's the worst, absolute worst part of game day right here.
20 minutes before tip-off, Bart Lundy stands in an empty locker room, writing the final matchups and keys to the game on the whiteboard.
It's really a 3-day prep for each team. I've kind of gone away from the rah-rah speeches that I gave as a young coach. If I give one now, it's really effective.
Got a point out there.
Instead, it's assistant coach Ben Walker giving today's pregame speech.
Don't play around with your food. Are y'all hungry? Yeah. Y'all hungry? Yeah. Well, let's go eat then.
The Panthers are favorites, so the coaching staff is a little worried about a trap game. Their message to the team all week has been to stay locked in and not overlook their opponent. But Coach Lundy knows his team well. After a sluggish workout, he paces back and forth during starting lineups, worried the message didn't quite sink in as well as he wanted it to.
Today's a great day to analyze that. We didn't think that the initial warm-up was good and we were locked in, even though they came in the locker room and said, we're locked in, we're ready to go. And we came out in the game and we weren't locked in. You know, we weren't ready to go.
He's right. The Panthers still haven't scored at the first TV timeout.
They're trying to switch everything. Everything's a slip.
Things improve from there. One by one, the shots start falling. Suddenly, Milwaukee has a 5-point lead going back to the locker room for halftime.
I feel like we're going to throw a knockout punch. It's not how this works. If you're going to beat this team with singles.
We're in it. Right here.
That message sinks in.
Watch middle. Watch middle.
Panthers dominate the second half on their way to a 20-point win. In Bart's office after the game, he tells me he knew his halftime speech.
I thought at halftime when we talked about, you can't hit a home run, it's got to be play after play after play. I thought just looking at them and their heads nodding, and you can tell, who's listening with their eyes and, the body language of the team, whether they're really locked in. And I thought they were locked into that, and I thought we came out and played like we were locked in.
Relationships behind the scenes are what drives success in college basketball. Bart learned that lesson early on when he became one of the youngest head coaches in the country more than 25 years ago. While his relationship with players has evolved over time, the core stays the same.
Well, I think in a lot of ways, I think I've always been a coach that players, more of a player's coach. Now maybe I'm, instead of being that young coach that they kind of relate to, maybe it's more of a father figure type relationship.
And I was sort of struck during this story of how much of Bart's day is just planned out from start to finish. He actually, for a lot of game days, after he has his workout, he has what he calls a coffee nap, which is apparently a real thing. You have coffee, then you take a 20-minute nap, and then you wake up and it's set in by then.
Really?
Looked it up afterward. It seems to be a very effective strategy. I've never quite done that.
No.
We all learned something today. Wow.
And whatever he's doing on days like that, they get the big win, come back at halftime. That was good. Keep doing what you're doing.
It's been very effective for them recently. They've won 3 of their last 4 going into tonight's game.
Awesome.
And we'll have highlights of that game coming up later in sports.
Fun to see.